to MMA Made, the best MMA show around the world. My name is Mighty. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we get started, I want to take a quick moment and I want to pay my respect and give my condolences to the family of Jordan Parsons. He was struck by a vehicle a few days ago in an intersection in Florida, and he passed away today. So my heart and prayers with his family. It's tragic. Anytime somebody passes away, it sucks, and to be taken away at such a young age, it's even more tragic. So I'm sure the Bellator family is deeply in mourning. He was supposed to fight next week on the card in San Jose. So in any case, my heart and prayers with the family. Sorry about that. I did not want to be a downer, but I definitely want to touch on that. I felt it was something I wanted to share with everybody. All right, well, let's get on to tonight's show, or today's show, whenever you feel like watching it. That's the great thing about YouTube. You can watch whatever the hell you want. You're probably at work right now, hiding from the boss, in the corner on your phone, checking it out. All 14 of you. Yeah, I bumped up like 3 people. It was 11, now I'm at 14, so there you go. I am only going to talk about UFC Fight Night, which is fight morning, but ONE FC is on Friday, Invicta is on Saturday, UFC is on Sunday. For us, in the old United States of America, the West Coast, early prelims on UFC Fight Pass will start at 7:30 a.m. It's a little early. I might miss the first one or two, maybe. It depends on what happens Saturday night. So, but we'll see. Regular prelims start at 9 West Coast, or I should say Pacific Standard Time. And the main card starts at 11 Pacific Standard Time. Do the math, add 3 hours for the East Coast. There you go. So, in any case, I am just going to talk about the co-main and the main event, the big boys, the heavyweights. Let's start with the co-main. Antonio Bigfoot Silva. They should call him Big Jaw or Big Head Silva. I think that's just as fitting as Bigfoot. He's got big hands, big head, and big feet. We'll just call them Biggins. Antonio Biggins Silva against Stefan, Mr. I Got My Jaw Broken Struve. Stefan has not been the same since Mark Hunt snapped his eating device, that lower area down here on your face. And then after that, he's had health issues with the heart condition. Actually, I forget what fight card it was, but he was actually scheduled to fight, literally ready to come out to the octagon, and said, nope, ain't feeling good, can't fight. That was weird. I've never seen that happen before, at a UFC event anyway. Not that I was there, but I was watching it. Pretty sure it was a pay-per-view a couple of years ago, something like that. I don't remember who he was fighting. In any case, these guys are kind of both got their back against the wall. Like I said, Stefan hasn't really been able to put it together ever since he lost to Hunt. And Bigfoot, he's only won once since like early 2013. He beat Soa Palele, the Hulk, and he did get a draw against Mark Hunt. I mean, that was a phenomenal fight. I think he lost part of his soul on that fight, because that was just an all-out bash. I think that was the fight that got Fight of the Year in 2013. So, but, Soa hasn't been, not Soa, I'm sorry, Biggins hasn't been on TRT since that got banned, however many months ago. It's got to be over a year now since the TRT got banned, the TRT like that. So he just hasn't been the same fighter without TRT, especially if you're used to it. I don't want to say it's a crutch per se, but you get to a certain age, you don't recover properly or recover as quickly. You can't train as hard, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Stefan, I don't know what his health condition is. I mean, obviously, he's been cleared to fight as of now. I'd have to go with Stefan if I had to pick one. I don't feel real confident in that pick, but he does have a crafty ground game. Maybe he gets Biggins to the ground and slaps on some cool little triangle or something. We'll see what happens. I just want it entertaining, like I typically do. Just like entertaining fights. I definitely have my faves, my favorite fighters, but for the most part, I just like to see entertaining fights. The main event Alistair Overeem against Andre Arlovski. Man, Arlovski was on a tear, 4-fight win streak, knocks out Travis Brown, knocks out Antonio Silva, beats Brandon Shaw, beats Frank Mir in some decisions. You know, but I think all four pretty decent fights. I mean, everyone was pretty much writing this guy off, especially when he came back, and then he goes on a 4-fight win streak and starts to become like a contender. When he got allocated to fight Stipe, I was like, oh, that's harsh, man. And that's what derailed him from that heavyweight title shot. Stipe's no joke, so Stipe gives him that loss, so he's coming off that loss. But he still looks good. He still looks good. But Overeem, man, when he first came into the UFC, he was kind of hit and miss. He was definitely dabbing in the TRT, maybe a little something, but the horse meat. But, you know, now that he's off the TRT, I think he's been able to adapt properly. He looked phenomenal against Junior Dos Santos, arguably one of his best performances ever. The fight against Roy Nelson wasn't bad either. He didn't get a finish, but I mean, damn, it's hard to finish Roy Nelson, you know what I'm saying? He looked good, though. He was able to go all rounds. He didn't get winded, showed that he had a little of the gas tank. You know, he's had some hit-and-miss fights, but right now, I think he's rocking a 3-fight win streak, if I remember correctly. And that last fight against Junior, man, that was a great performance. He was just picking and choosing his strikes, and he's just kind of picking apart Junior, which was kind of interesting and amazing, actually, because Junior has some of the best hands in the heavyweight division. Obviously, Alistair is going to have the advantage with the kicks. He definitely, with that K1 background, he's going to be able to use those kicks much more efficiently than Junior. Junior's more of a hand striker, boxing background. I have to go with Alistair on this. Overeem takes this. I don't know if it's going to be a finish, but he definitely beats Arlovski. I actually go on the limb. I think he can finish Arlovski in the second round. I think he can pick him apart just like he did Dos Santos. I think he comes in with a great game plan. Greg Jackson's great at game planning, arguably one of the best at game planning. And I think he can get a finish. And with that being said, if he gets like a highlight reel knockout, I think he might get bumped up to become #1 contender. I know Ben Rothwell is, you know, sitting in the shadows lurking, but I think there's just more. You have more value with Overeem. I think he has a bigger name recognition. He's a bigger guy in general. I think he just has that. He has more value behind him. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, we don't know who he would fight. UFC 198 coming up in about 10 days. And that's where Verdun will defend his title against Stipe. So we'll see what happens there. And then we'll see who's next in line. Kane's fighting UFC 200. He'll want a shot. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyways, short and sweet. There's a couple other good fights on the card, but co-main and main event, those are my main interests. They're both heavyweight fights too, so hopefully we see some sleeping, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, all 14 of you. Please subscribe on all the different platforms of social media. You know where to find me, because it pops up while I'm yapping at you each week. Thank you so much, and may the 4th be with you.